this ghetto dream. God has given us a name. The Lord has given us a destination. God has given us a name. The Lord has given us a destination. God has given us a name. The Lord has given us a destination. Jesus, this ain't no mystery. To the west side, river to river. Jesus. I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Welcome everyone to the Trust in the Lord Hour. I am trusting in the Lord. What about you? To be happy with Jesus, you must trust and obey. Well, we've got a lot to do. I've got a real busy schedule. You know, I'm enjoying my life as a candidate for the mayor of the city of New York as a Lord's servant. With the scriptures, the verses of where Jesus talks about the sheep and the goats, about feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, clothing the naked, visiting the sick of the prisons. I'm really enjoying this. It's been an extraordinary time. And I pray that the journey has been an extraordinary journey for you as well. And some of the faithful members, that have been with us for a long time, people like Deacon Miller and Eric Adams. Eric Adams, he's the mayor, former mayor, the crook, not Eric Miller. And Sister Kane and Minister Honaker and a bunch of Joseph Manning and just a bunch of other, Jesse Munoz. That you're following me, and I'm glad you followed me into this path. It's a brutal journey. There's no doubt about it. There was a major debate here in New York between the Democratic mayors contested for mayor. I wasn't on that stage on last night. I will be on there once the general election heats up. But I'm enjoying this process, and there's some wonderful things that are happening, and I'm going to show you. I was out in Brooklyn on this past Monday, revisiting the site where I made the decision to leave the corporate world working for Procter & Gamble. And I wanted to help my brothers, as I stated before. Heroin was everywhere. Everybody was shooting up heroin. It was king, as some would say. And 50 years later, I find myself a pastor, and I'm going back to those places. And heroin and crack, and I'm going to have to have Elder Ramos talk to you all about the power of crack, but there's something else he wants to talk to you about as well. But what I want to do now, what this journey of seeking to be the mayor of the city of New York has led me to retrace my steps, perhaps, in a way that's meaningful. And I want to show you a clip that I was able to put together this past Monday of my talking about my father, Willie Martin Patterson. Now, he wasn't my biological father. My biological father was a man named Lawrence Manning. He and my mother divorced, and I was about the age of 3 years old, somewhere thereabouts, maybe 2 or 3 when they divorced. And Willie Martin Patterson married my mother at the time and raised me until I was 18 years old, fed me, put a roof over my head, taught me the disciplines, and gave me many of the skills that I have now, the understanding that I have now, the principles and mores that I express now. He taught me those things. And I want to let you listen to a video where I talked about when I became 14, 15, 16 years old, I'm not sure which, I raised my hand to fight him. And he was very sick at the time. He had been in the jungles of Okinawa, in the South Pacific, in World War II. He had contracted some sort of a disease that was fatal. He could barely breathe. He was so sick, and I raised my hand to fight him when I was a young boy. But I'm going to let you listen to the video. I'll explain to you what happened, and then I'll be back. So don't go anywhere. Mr. Engineer, cue up that video, please.
I'm here on Fulton Street and Nostrand Avenue. At one point, when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, for me, this was the crossroads of life. This was the Champs-Élysées. This was the main drag. This was the Fifth Avenue. This was my world. And I was living this way on St. James and Fulton. And I'd come to New York as a young boy, 18 years of age. But when I was approximately 15 or 16 years old, my father, now one would refer to him as my stepfather in as much as that he was not my biological father, but he was the man that raised me, took care of me, put a roof over my head, fed me, taught me, disciplined me. But when I reached 16, 17 years old, my aunts and some of my cousins and relatives were telling me, well, he's not your real father. You don't have to do what he says do. And so the more he would tell me the things to do, the more I would resist it. And finally, it came to the point where I actually put up my fist to fight him. Now, he was an older man. When he married my mother, he was 13 years older than her. He took me and my two sisters in as his children. Now, why is this important? It's important because this used to be a chock full of nuts. Now, those from the old school remember chock full of nuts, the heavenly coffee, chock full of nuts, better coffee a millionaire's money can't buy was their slogan. And they had a thing called nut bread. And so I invited my father, who at 18 years old, I realized that I had made a grave mistake by fighting him or seeking to fight him. He just walked away. He had lung problems. He could barely walk 5 steps without stopping to breathe. And he was just in a bad shape. And I put up my fist to fight him. And I said, Pastor Manny, you tell all these stories. You've done some awful things. I have. No, I have. And I'm deeply regretful of the things that I did. And I can't begin to tell you how painful it is to have lived through that. But I had enough understanding. Once I got a few dollars in my pocket, I invited my father, Willie Martin Patterson, to come to New York. And when he came to New York, I brought him here to what was then chock full of nuts. There was a side entrance, just this entrance right here. I think there was 2 entrances. Yeah, there was a side entrance. I brought him here.
Yes, God bless you.
God bless you. I brought him here. We sat down, had some coffee and some pound cake, and I told him I was sorry. And I apologized. And he just looked at me and, he called me brother. That's what he called me. He called me brother because I was named after my father, who my mother divorced, and he didn't want to call me my mother's former husband's name, so he just called me brother. He just looked at me, brother. And he got on the bus and went back to North Carolina, and he died. So I thought I would say that. I mean, Fulton Street, obviously, as I was up by Fulton and Schenectady earlier today, telling about my refusal to do drugs, my discipline to not do drugs. And I just remembered chock full of nuts was here 50 years ago. Across the street was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I don't know what happened, why that store has not been reopened. It's a major corner store. It would appear that there'd be something going on there now. So this corner has a lot of history for me. If you can remember me, if we could just do a visual of an 18-year-old Manning. Try to think about me when I was 18 years old, how skinny I was, and how young I was at 18 years old, going into this place that was blessed as chock full of nuts. I think they still have a couple of chock full of nuts in Staten Island. You can look it up, Google it. It was a very famous, and they still sell chock full of nuts coffee. I thank God for the memories. I thank God that I had this experience up and down Nostrand and Fulton. So now I want to show you something, right? I sat here as an 18-year-old boy, skinny as a rail. This was my world. This was the world for me. This was the joint. I mean, this is where the people was. I was in New York City. But I'm now running to be the mayor of this city, to take this city and to lead it. As an 18-year-old boy, I came here as an 18-year-old. And now I'm on track to actually become the mayor. Let me show you something here. This is one of the vehicles. When I took my father to Chock full of nuts, I didn't have a car at the time. I used the subway or the bus. But now this is our church vehicle. This is my running for the mayor of New York City. But that's not all. Let me walk you down the street. Come on, follow me a little bit further, if you will. You come with me. 18 years old. If you can imagine me as an 18-year-old boy. This is our vehicle as well. The 18-year-old boy that called his father from North Carolina to come has now started a school himself and graduating college-level students, graduating doctors and lawyers well, at least we got one doctor, but a number of people that have come through our church have become lawyers. So, as an 18-year-old skinny boy from North Carolina, my mind was, during those years, my mind was, I don't know where I was. But this is a very important and very powerful time for me. And it's important that I become the mayor of the city of New York, having come here as a migrant from North Carolina. So I wanted to be able to express that. Chock full of nuts is a heavenly coffee. Better coffee millionaires' money can't buy. Chock full of nuts is a heavenly coffee. Better coffee millionaires' money can't buy. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you for taking the time to understand. I guess when you live as long as I do, you have a lot of history. And I consider it to be very rich. Can I just spiritualize my stepfather, Willie Patterson, walked this sidewalk. He's been dead now 45 years. My stepfather, the two of us, he was my father. The two of us, we walked in this area together, the two of us together. We occupied this space. He's long since gone, and I'm still here. I'm still here. God bless his memory. God bless his memory. Praise the Lord.
You know, I've done a lot of awful things in my life, mainly in my youth. I've done some good things, I'd like to think. One of the driving forces, if not beyond just loving Jesus and Jesus loving me, and my making the decision to serve him, is I try to correct all the things, and if I find a young man or a young woman or any person that is going wrong, like I went wrong, I raised my hand to fight my father. Thank God I had an opportunity to call him, to bring him up to New York and chock full of nuts, and he went back to North Carolina and immediately died. But if I find a young man going wrong, and if I find a person going wrong, I try to correct them because I know the pain. That's why I think it's so very important that I become the mayor of the city of New York, because it'll give me the opportunity to deal with young people in the New York City school system. I believe that I can correct a lot of the ills that are happening with our young people. I believe I can remove the metal detectors from our New York City school system. I believe that, and I'm going to run. I'm running on the campaign that I will remove the metal detectors, and there'll be no guns in our New York City school system when I tell people my story. Arrested for armed robbery myself with a sawed-off shotgun. I believe I can help. And I have helped to some degree. I wonder what you think about me. I wonder what you think about my life, and that's a part of my life. You probably heard me tell that, but not in a pictorial way and not in a personal way, on the actual geographical location where Chock-full Nuts used to be and where I was 50 years ago. 50 years ago, standing on that corner with and going into that store at the time, Chock-full Nuts. I believe that my experiences are valuable. I pray that you think the same thing about me. I pray that you think, and I know that many of you do, and I thank you for your prayers, and I thank you for your support. I do. But I'm adamant about correcting the wrongs. As I apologize to my father, Willie Patterson, and send me down to City Hall. Send me down to City Hall, and I'm going to do the righteous thing. I'm not going to make the mistakes that there are people that many of these politicians and otherwise. You send me to City Hall. I want to show you one other. Actually, it's a video. It's a song by a young man who was a heroin addict. He shot heroin for a number of years. I think he had tried out and made the New York Yankees, who's a good baseball player, made the New York Yankees, but his heroin, and his father didn't give him the kind of love that perhaps he thought he should have. And he found me on the radio and came and joined our church. And I was a father, though we were not that separate in age, but I was a father to him. If you send me to City Hall, I'm going to let you see a song that he wrote, and we put some visuals to it. If you send me to City Hall, I'm going to help a lot of people. The people that are running for mayor right now, they can't help. There's very few people right now. I can help not only as the mayor of the city of New York, but I can help Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Miami, Washington, D.C., Baltimore. If you'll send me to City Hall, now I'm gonna keep telling you about myself. I'm gonna keep telling you how bad I was, how awful I was, and how I regretted how Jesus saved me. I think you know that. But I think I'm gonna need you to send me to City Hall. I'm gonna need you. One of the things I'm gonna need you to do is to go to our website and donate. But I'll get to that. I want you to see another young man that came to this ministry. He was a heroin addict as well. He's long since deceased. But he wrote a song. We put some visuals to it. And the visuals, the track of my life. Now, I'm going to deal with Wall Street. I'm going to deal with billionaires. I'm going to deal with, the economic structure and system. But you put me in charge of the New York City school system. Will you do that? And we'll get rid of homelessness and hopelessness. You put me in charge of the New York City school system, I'll cut off the path to prisons. I'll cut off the path to failure. Put me in charge of that. Will you do that? Send me to City Hall. You're going to have to donate. That's what I need to have happen. You got to donate to the Manning for Mayor campaign. You got to go to that website and donate. But if you send me to City Hall, I'll cut off the path and give me the opportunity to be over the young people in New York City school system. Will you do that? Send me to City Hall. I'm going to talk to you more about that. Let me let you see this Pastor Bartolotta, who came to our church and former heroin addict. And here's a song he wrote about our ministry.
this ghetto free. Our children were crying, bullets flying, cities dying. Jesus, junkies in the cooker, lady crack pipe, hooker. Watch it. Name was Tomorrow, Blacko, Jojo, Willie Bobo. Ooh, you got a new name. Say got a new name. Say got a new name. No man, no angel. Never heard this word before. Jesus, this ain't no mystery. Allah, righteous city. East side to the west side, river to river. Jesus, I hear you talking. Watch out. Ooh, take off those shoes. We're going barefoot walking. Barefoot walking. Got a new name. Said got a new name. Said got a new name. No man, no angel. Never heard this word before.
God has given us a name. The Lord has given us a destination. God has given us a land.
Watch it. Got a new name. Say got a new name. Say got a new name. Jesus, turn this city upside down. Step in on holy ground. No more junkies, no more hookers, no more murder, no more Harlem. Got a new name, said got a new name, said got a new name. No man, no angel, never heard this word before.
Goodbye, Harlem. Your history.
I'm going to ask you to send me to City Hall so I can be over the New York City school system. And I will cut off the pipeline to homelessness, to prisons, to brokenness, to fatherless. I will cut off that pipeline. I will cut off if you'll send me to City Hall. You've seen the work that I've done and the work I continue to do. And I was talking about waiting on the Lord. I tried to discover the fact that I did the awful things I did. My father, Willie Patterson, I was able to apologize to, and now I'm doing a memorial apology to him. It hurt his heart, I'm sure it did, when I raised my fist to fight him. Did I go through all of this so I can help countless millions of others? Did I? And I don't want to say that the Lord orchestrated that I should do that. I'm not saying that, God forbid. I don't know if he did. If he did, I don't know that he did. I'm not saying that he did. What I am saying is that had I not gone through those things, I would not be as passionate about truth and about righteousness. And I'm asking you to put me over all the students in the New York City school system at the age I was when I raised my hand against my father. They won't raise their hand against their father. At the age I went into crime and ended up in prison, they won't do it. I will cut off the pipeline. A man asked me the other day, he said, why you wait so long to do this? Why didn't Manning, you could have done this years ago. I didn't have the fire in the belly years ago to do this. That's one thing. I believe that it's the Lord's timing. I believe it's the Lord's timing. One of the other things I'm going to do is that the corruption in corporate, if you will, corporate businesses, the corporate industry, corporations, that is, I'm going to clean that up too. But the Lord has got me here now. I want to be in the right place at the right time. I want to do what Almighty God wants me to do. I'm trusting that you're going to send me down to City Hall. I'm trusting that you're going to do that. You're going to make a donation. You're going to go to Manning for mayor and you can make a $10 donation. For a $10 donation for all those men you saw on the street. Can you believe that in modern day, this is after Obama. This is after having David Dinkins as the mayor, after having Obama as the president. And yet it prevails because those people born mainly with a silver spoon in their mouth, I'm going to ask you to send me to City Hall. Send me down to City Hall. Help me fight the great fight that needs to be. That put me in charge of the children of New York City and the school system. I'm a good man. I'm a good man. I am. I confess all the awful things I've done. No doubt about it. You know it. I have not, walked around thinking that perhaps somebody did me wrong and I was right for what I did. No, I was wrong. I was wrong. But I believe that that I can cut off the pipeline to the prisons of New York State. I can cut off the pipeline to the homeless shelters. I can cut that pipeline off. And then, of course, I said I'm going to my first one of the days of being a mayor. I'm going to call for a 3-day fast, and I'll do it myself. Jesus said that. What you saw on the street with these men jumping up and down and rolling over and sleeping on benches, and that kind of demon only goes out by fasting and prayer. You can get all the dollars from the federal government you want. You can get all the tax dollars and tax revenues that you can raise, but those devils only go out by fasting and prayer. And I'm going to, one would say, well, Mayor, why don't you do something about housing? Why don't you do something about the homelessness and one thing after the other? Mainly they're talking about doing something economically, but you can have all the money in the world. You can put those men you saw just a few moments ago in Pastor Bottle's song. You can put those men in a mansion. They're still going to jump up and down. They're still, you got to fast and pray. And that's going to be different. That a mayor would stand up and would fast and pray to cast out demons, because you can't cast those demons out of those men that you saw with money. Money won't do it. If money could buy those demons, if money could give the authority. And then the other thing is that there's some demons that are quieter, they're more polite. They sit at the heads of corporations, and some of those demons are in schools. And the other thing is that you put me in charge of the school system of New York by donating to my campaign. We're not going to have gender grooming in our New York City school system. No, we're not going to have it. Now, you want to be LGBTQ, that's your business. Go ahead and do what you want to do. But you're not going to tell you're not going to tell 4 and 5 year olds that that God gave them the wrong sex. You're not going to do that. No, you're not with me. It ain't going to happen. So there are other demons around. There are demons, in corporate America. There's demons in banking, and there's demons. The landlord industry in New York City is full of demons. Now you listen to Pastor Manny very carefully. What you saw a few moments ago with those demons calling those young men to do the things that they've done. You can raise all the taxes. You can raise all the money. You can put those young men on a yacht. They'll jump off of it. You can put those men on a 150-foot yacht. They'll jump off because money won't cure you. That's why it's important. Send me to City Hall. Send me down there. And the way you're going to do it, not only just what's most urgent right now is that you go to our website at manningformayor.com and donate. Just take out a $10. You got a bank card, you got a debit card, you got a credit card. Put $10. Go to Manning for Mayor and put $10 to send me to the City Hall and put me over the children, put me over the school system. And I'm going to be making an announcement on Saturday about a whole lot of things. That I'm having a press conference on Saturday here at the Outlaw Word Missionary Church at the 11 o'clock worship service. You're invited to come. And I'm going to be making an announcement about a lot of things that I'm going to be doing in terms of the policies that I'm going to be doing. So it's important that you tell everybody, and you might want to drive in from Pennsylvania to go up and down in Maryland or down in Washington, D.C. It'd be a good drive. It's going to be a nice summer day. You can drive up here, sit down in the sanctuary, and listen to me and as I do my press campaign. But listen, the issue is that New York is the richest city on the planet, but it's got the poorest morality. Money don't solve. Well, while we're going to need money, we're going to do a whole lot of things with the tax structure. You're going to be everywhere you look. I'm going to be dealing with the tax structure. But what our children need, money can't buy. New York needs love and righteousness. What our children need, money can't buy. Money can't buy them the discipline that they need. Money can't buy them. Money can't buy them the parents that they need. What our young people need here in New York in the school system, put me in charge of the school system of New York. Will you do that? What our young people need, money can't buy. Money can't buy you two good parents. Money can't buy you a father that loves you, that goes out to work every day, comes home, clean hands, he's got clean hands, he's got a clean smile on his face, and he works hard. Money can't buy you that kind of a father. Did you know that? You can talk about money and privilege, and you can say, well, the absence of it can create problems. What New York needs is love and righteousness. Money can't buy you a father to make him love his wife. Money can't buy you a father to raise children the right way. Money can't buy that. Now, you can get all the money that you want. And money, these corporations, corporate greed needs to be done. I'm going to deal with all of that, but I think I need to start where I need to start with this homelessness. And I want you to put me in charge of the New York school system. Will you do that for me? You see my story about my father 50 years ago. I'm not saying that God that God caused that to happen. He let it happen, but I'm not saying he caused it, that God ordained that to happen, but he let it happen so I can know the pain of what it is to be a good son, and I can know the pain what it is to be a bad one. I'm not saying that God caused it to happen, but I am saying God let it happen. Put me in charge of the New York City school system. Put me in charge of it, and I'll tell you, we'll be able to take those money changers. we'll be able to get those metal detectors out of those schools. Put me in charge of it. You can go to our website. You can give $10. You can give $100. You can. Every individual person can give up to $2,100. And by the way, you don't have to live in New York. You can live in Lansing, Michigan. Or you can live in Portland, Oregon. Or you can live in San Diego, California. You can live in Little Rock, Arkansas. You can live in Biloxi, Mississippi. You can live in Miami, Florida. Jacksonville. You can live in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you live in New York, you live in America, you can donate. And if you are a migrant or an immigrant, not a citizen, you can still donate. You got a bank card? Go to my website. Put me in charge of the school system. Put me in charge. Now, this is probably going to get some people, a little, but put me in charge of the ghettos. Now, I would prefer to use the term marginalized neighborhoods. I would prefer to do that. I would prefer to use the term poor neighborhoods. Put me in charge of the ghettos. Put me in charge of them. And I can cut off the pipeline. I can tell you that. Put me in charge of the school system. Put me in charge. By the way, the president's, Mr. Engineer, I think we have a picture of our students that we would, look how beautiful our students are. I can do this. I do this on a small scale, not a small scale, but I do this at our church. Look at that, how beautiful they are. Ain't that beautiful? I can do that across the board. I can change the ghettos. Put me in charge of the ghettos of New York City. All right? Send me to City Hall. Put me in charge of the ghettos. Mike Bloomberg had no business being in charge of the ghettos. Bill de Blasio, David Dinkins, Eric Adams, none of them knew what to do with the ghettos. None of them. Put me in charge of the ghettos. Make me the mayor of New York City ghettos by making me the mayor of New York City. And I can raise up beautiful children. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful sight? That's the work of my hands, along with some great staff people that work along with me. Great staff people that work along with me. So put me in charge. Put me in charge of the ghettos. Put me in charge of the New York City school system. We'll get rid of the metal detectors. 1 year after I've been mayor, there'll be no more metal detectors. Children can go to school without fear of guns. Put me in charge. Now, the other thing is that, so Manning for mayor, let me show them the yellow banner of Manning for mayor. So you put me in charge of the New York City school system, and young boys won't want to carry guns to school or knives or weapons. They won't want to do that. They'll have something else on their mind. They'll say, well, our principal went to prison, our mayor rather, and I'll sit and I'll talk with the young men. I'll spend time with them. I'll spend time with the young women. I will. So today is a very special broadcast day. I'm asking you to put me in charge of the New York City school system. I'm waiting on the Lord, and this is the time that He's chosen. Those memories on Fulton Street this past Monday were precious. Remembering my stepfather, Willie Patterson. But go to manningformayor.com. Go to manningformayor.com and donate. You can start with $10. Everybody's got $10. Start with $10. And you can give $20 if you want. You can $40 if you like. $70. There's some numbers that the Lord uses often. God uses the number 40 and 70 and 120. God uses those numbers. 33, you can give $33. Let's say you give $33, right? Say, well, here's $33. to put Manning in charge of the New York City school system. Imagine that. That's a good bang. That's a good bang for your buck. You know that? For $33, you can put me in charge of the New York City school system. For $33 now, that you can't get no better than that. So because right now I have the will, I have the talent, the strength, I have the anointing of God to be the best mayor New York City has ever seen, to be the best mayor America has ever seen. I have the anointing. What I don't have is your support. What I don't have is your support. Talking about getting a bang for your buck, you can give $10. I said that before, sure. What about 12? 12 is a good number. 12 disciples, right? 12 disciples. You can give $12 right now. You can, and you got that right on your bank card. Give $12 right now, and it'll send me to. But I have the ability, the faithfulness, I have the experience, the anointing of God to be in charge of the New York City public school system, and be in charge of cleaning up the streets of New York. I will mop the streets of New York spick and span clean. The homelessness, we're gonna cut that off. You can give $33. Go to Manning for mayor and give $33. And that's a good bang for your buck. You can't lose. You can't lose. You go to Manning for mayor and you give $10 or $12. Let's move to $12, right? Because 12 is a number that Jesus uses, right? The Bible uses. So let's use $12, right? Or you use $33. Or you can give $40. 40 days, it rained 40 days and 40 nights. Moses was in the wilderness for 40 years, and Jesus was was tempted by the devil out in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. So you can use 40, or you can use 70. 70 years and 10. You've heard that in the book of Psalms. Or you can use 120 if you like. But you can put me in charge of the New York City school system. I've proven for the past 30 years that I can educate doctors, lawyers. I can educate people with graduate degrees and from the best universities in New York City. I can get them accepted with major scholarships. We just got a young group of people graduating this month that got $140 scholarships. I can educate. I have proven that I can raise up students that can get a full 4-year scholarship to Yale University. I can do that. I've done that. I got that in my that's my record. I've done that. You give $33, give $12, give $33, give $40, give $70. Send me downtown. Send me to City Hall. That's a good bang for your buck. I have proven that, and the other thing is that I can fight the system. I've proven I can fight the system. You know, I've been in the court battles. I've proven that I can fight bureaucracy. I've proven I can stand up against the powers, the corporate greed. I can stand up against the system. I've proven that I can do that, and you know that I have. I can, and I have. So send me to City Hall. I have all the willpower, the gifts, the anointing, the love, the skills, the record, the history, the experience. All I need is your $33 or your $12 or your $100. You can give as much as $2,100 as an individual. It doesn't matter where you live. If you live in America, you can give. Doesn't matter what city, what town, what party you belong to. Go to the website at manningformayor.com. Go to manningformayor.com and give. I've got everything else except you. I've got everything else, and you know me. You know me. I got everything I need except you. You know me. You know who I am. And so I'm asking you to send me to City Hall. Don't you think if you send for $33 or whatever you're going to do, I don't know, maybe you want to do $70. Maybe you want to do the whole $2,100 right now. I don't know. I think that's what Minister Holnaker did. I think he did that, if I'm not mistaken. I think Minister Holnaker, I think that he gave the whole thing. I'll have to find out, just make sure I'm not speaking something that's not correct. But we're going to have a meeting here on Saturday where I'm going to be revealing my policies. I've had some policies, $27 minimum wage, I've talked, no taxes on bodegas, no taxes on any food sales, you don't have to pay taxes to eat, and some other things that we're going to be doing as well. But I'm going to be unveiling more policies. But for whatever you give, and maybe you can send me to City Hall. You know I'm the best man for the city of New York. You know I'm the best man for the students, for the schools, for the jails, for the banks, for the economy. You know I'm the best man. You send me to City Hall, we're going to cut off this pipeline of these young people ending up in homeless shelters. You can do that. You're talking about getting a good bang for your buck. Talking about getting a good bang for your buck. Go to Manning for mayor. Doesn't matter where you live. And you can get So I want to invite everybody to show up on this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock because we're going to be talking about the Middle Passage arch that we're going to be erecting once I become the mayor. It's going to be, the world is going to be a great place. And you've known me, some of y'all have known me for a goodly number of years. Many of you, you know that I'm going to do a good job. All you got to do is go to Manning for Mayor right now and start donating. And don't stop donating until you reach that $2,100. You know that. You know me. You know I need to be the mayor of the ghettos. The ghetto needs me. You know that. You know the ghettos need me. Maybe you live in a nice neighborhood and everything, but you still are affected by the ghettos, the people that live there. You see? So go to Manning for mayor and send me to City Hall. All right? I'm gonna let you hear my testimony about my father again, and the testimony of Pastor Bartolotta, new name. But can I ask you, let's touch and agree right now. Let's touch and agree. Jesus, while I am not boasting, I'm just bragging on you. There's nobody better qualified to be over the students, the children, and the schools of New York City than me, because I've got you. And there's nobody better to be over the young men going astray. There's nobody better. I went out on the street and I slept with the homeless for 3 days. I'm the best man. All I need. I have the qualifications. I have the talents. I have the abilities. I have the education. I have the passion. All I need is for the people every person listening to me to go to our website at Manning for Mayor and make a donation. I have the talents. And Jesus, speak into their ears and let them know that so many children will be helped by my wisdom, by my love, and also by the many mistakes I've made. Children all over the city of New York will be helped by the mistakes I've made. Go to Manning for Mayor. Praise God. Go to Manning for Mayor. Go now and make that donation. Here's one more time honoring my father.
I'm here on Fulton Street and Nostrand Avenue. At one point, when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, for me, this was the crossroads of life. This was the Champs-Élysées. This was the main drag. This was the Fifth Avenue. This was my world. And I was living this way on St. James and Fulton. And I'd come to New York as a young boy, 18 years of age. But when I was approximately 15 or 16 years old, my father, now one would refer to him as my stepfather in as much as that he was not my biological father, but he was the man that raised me, took care of me, put a roof over my head, fed me, taught me, disciplined me. But when I reached 16, 17 years old, my aunts and some of my cousins and relatives were telling me, well, he's not your real father. You don't have to do what he says do. And so the more he would tell me the things to do, the more I would resist it. And finally, it came to the point where I actually put up my fist to fight him. Now, he was an older man. When he married my mother, he was 13 years older than her. He took me and my two sisters in as his children. And why is this important? It's important because this used to be a chock full of nuts. Now, those from the old school remember chock full of nuts, the heavenly coffee, chock full of nuts, better coffee a millionaire's money can't buy was their slogan. And they had a thing called nut bread. And so I invited my father, who at 18 years old, I realized that I had made a grave mistake by fighting him or seeking to fight him. He just walked away. He had lung problems. He could barely walk 5 steps without stopping to breathe. And he was just in a bad shape. And I put up my fist to fight him. And the guy said, Pastor, man, you tell all these stories. You've done some awful things. I have. No, I have. Now, I'm deeply regretful of the things that I did. And I can't begin to tell you how painful it is to have lived through that. But I had enough understanding. Once I got a few dollars in my pocket, I invited my father, Willie Martin Patterson, to come to New York. And when he came to New York, I brought him here to what was then chock full of nuts. There was a side entrance, just this entrance right here. I think there was 2 entrances. Yeah, there was a side entrance. I brought him here.
Yes, God bless you.
God bless you. I brought him here. We sat down, had some coffee and some pound cake, and I told him I was sorry. And I apologized. And he just looked at me and, you know, he called me brother. That's what he called me. He called me brother because I was named after my father, who my mother divorced, and he didn't want to call me my mother's former husband's name, so he just called me brother. He just looked at me, brother. And he got on the bus and went back to North Carolina, and he died. So I thought I would say that. I mean, Fulton Street, obviously, as I was up by Fulton and Schenectady earlier today, telling about my refusal to do drugs, my discipline to not do drugs. And I just remembered chock full of nuts was here 50 years ago. Across the street was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I don't know what happened, why that store has not been reopened. It's a major corner store. It would appear that there'd be something going on there now. So this corner has a lot of history for me. If you can remember me, if we could just do a visual of an 18-year-old Manning. Try to think about me when I was 18 years old, how skinny I was, and how young I was at 18 years old, going into this place that was blessed as chock full of nuts. I think they still have a couple of chock full of nuts in Staten Island. You can look it up, Google it. It was a very famous, and they still sell chock full of nuts coffee. I thank God for the memories. I thank God that I had this experience up and down Nostrand and Fulton. So now I want to show you something, right? I sat here as an 18-year-old boy, skinny as a rail. This was my world. This was the world for me. This was the joint. I mean, this is where the people was. I was in New York City. But you know, I'm now running to be the mayor of this city, to take this city and to lead it. As an 18-year-old boy, I came here as an 18-year-old. And now I'm on track to actually become the mayor. Let me show you something here. This is one of the vehicles. When I took my father to chock full of nuts, I didn't have a car at the time. I used the subway or the bus. But now this is our church vehicle. This is my running for the mayor of New York City, but that's not all. Let me walk you down the street. Come on, follow me a little bit further, if you will. You come with me. 18 years old. If you can imagine me as an 18-year-old boy. This is our vehicle as well. The 18-year-old boy that called his father from North Carolina to come. has now started a school himself and graduating college level students, graduating doctors and lawyers that, well, at least we got one doctor, but a number of people that have come through our church have become lawyers. So as an 18-year-old skinny boy from North Carolina, my mind was, during those years, my mind was, I don't know where. I don't know where I was. But this is a very important and very powerful time for me. And it's important that I become the mayor of the city of New York, having come here as a migrant from North Carolina. So I wanted to be able to express that. Chock full of nuts is a heavenly coffee. Better coffee millionaires' money can't buy. Chock full of nuts is a heavenly coffee. Better coffee millionaires' money can't buy. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you for taking the time to understand. I guess when you live as long as I do, you have a lot of history. And I consider it to be very rich. Can I just spiritualize my stepfather, Willie Patterson, walked this sidewalk. He's been dead now 45 years. My stepfather, the two of us, he was my father. The two of us, we walked in this area together, the two of us together. We occupied this space. He's long since gone, and I'm still here. I'm still here. God bless his memory. God bless his memory. Praise the Lord.
Coming to you live from New York City, it's the Manning Report with your host, Dr. James David Manning. The truth behind the news and the news behind the headlines.
All right, welcome to the Manning Report. I am Manning, and most surely I'm reporting. How's everybody doing? I'll tell you who's not doing quite so well. It appears that Elon Musk, or Elon the monkey, is not doing quite so well. He's lost a ton of money on his Tesla sales in Europe, are down 69%. He's lost a quarter of his, whatever it was, $400 billion of worth he had. And he's obviously got fired by Tribulation Trump the other day. Trump gave him a gold key, but really he got fired, and he's not happy about that. If I get the opportunity, I'm going to be bringing up a video clip that Lawrence O'Donnell did last night, laying out minute by minute, line upon line, precept upon precept, on all the tweets that that Musk has tweeted out, and why Donald Trump is quiet as a church mouse and not saying anything in response to all the ugly things that Leon the monkey, Elon, not Leon, okay, all right, finally. You get the idea. All right, let me turn the corner. Here's what I want to do. I want to let you know that we're going to be having on the 14th of September, 14th September is a great day. On the 14th of June, we're going to be having a town hall at 125th Street and 7th Avenue, announcing the building of the Memorial Middle Passage Arch, or the Middle Passage Arch. The event will get started at about 2 o'clock. And what you see there is a rough draft of what the arch will look like, something like the Arc de Triomphe or the Brandenburg Gate or that you've seen around the world in other countries. We're going to build this memorial arch, memorizing and commemorating the millions of people that died in the Middle Passage between 1600 and 1900 when the slave trade was in vogue or happening continuously. Those ships crossing the Atlantic Ocean at the time took as much as 3 to 4 months. And many times people died on those voyages and they were just thrown overboard in what has been referred to as the Middle Passage. Well, there's nothing commemorating them here in America as notable as this particular memorial. We're going to build it, and we're going to build it on what has been named by people like Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and Charles Rangel and some of the others as African Square. Dr. Ben has also been very important in naming that corner African Square. So I'm going to build that arch. I'm going to create legislation to build that arch, to memorialize and to give voices to those who died and their voices have been stilled beneath the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. Their bones remained washed by the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. And there are probably as many bones as you can find anywhere in graveyards, waterly graveyards. So I'm going to build that arch as a memorial to those persons that died. And we're going to have a town hall meeting on this coming June the 14th to kick off that particular program. I've already told you that I'm pretty much acting as mayor at this moment. I'm going ahead and I'm acting even though I have not been elected mayor. And they had a forum last night. I think at one of the local television stations was able to hold a forum between the 7 or 8 Democrat candidates for mayor. I wasn't there. I'm running as an independent. But the forum last night looked like it was well attended. Andrew Cuomo was there, and I don't think Eric Adams was there. But at any rate, I'm already acting as mayor. So I'm going to build that arch. And of course, with the power of, as the mayor of the city of New York, I will be able to create that legislation that would dedicate that land and will memorialize those voices that lie beneath the waves of the cold Atlantic Ocean. And so we want to ask you to mark on your books to be there on 125th Street and 7th Avenue on June 14th. It's a week from this Saturday at 2 o'clock. It's going to be a very spirited time. Also want to remind you that we're going to be having a kickoff of announcing more of our policies as the candidate for mayor. We're going to be announcing those policies on this coming Saturday, Sabbath, which is June the 7th, right here at the Outlaw World Missionary Church. And there are a large number of things that I think you're going to want to hear about, and you might want to be able to make note of, that you would hear on that historic day when I spoke from the pulpit of the Outlaw World Missionary Church, the things that we're going to be doing in terms of our run for the mayor of the city of New York. So that's going to happen. All that's coming up over the next couple of weeks. We've got a very exciting time, and if I get an opportunity, I think I need to get some information from Deborah Love Carter regarding the play that she's going to have, and from Elder LaFleur regarding the graduation ceremony that's going to happen here at the church. So be assured that we're very busy. We've got a large number of things going on. Actually, after I do this broadcast today, I'm going to be going up to 135th Street and Lenox Avenue, and I'm going to be campaigning up there, handing out flyers and talking to the people from about 4 o'clock to about 7 o'clock tonight. We're going to be doing that. And then tomorrow, I'm not sure exactly what time we're going to start. It'll start sometime after 2 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to be back on 125th Street and 7th Avenue doing more campaigning. So we're at a very busy time. We got a lot going on. And I pray at some point today to be able to, in this broadcast, to let you hear my testimony regarding my love and my apologies to my father, Willie Martin Patterson. I'm not getting ready to broadcast it just yet, but I do want to try to get it squeezed into this particular segment. So there's a lot going on. I want to thank all of y'all for your love and your prayers and all of your giving and your support. It's been noted, and we're thankful for it. And I want to thank God for all of the people that have been with me over the years. And maybe some of you might want to return to the fold. I sent out a tweet the other day, said, "Welcome to the truth." I don't know if the engineer can find it. And it says that, "Welcome to the truth. You've seen this sign for years. Now come meet the man." This announcement board is known around the world. God works in mysterious ways, as many have said, but this announcement board is my television, it's my press, it's my newspaper, and this pictures are taken of this particular announcement board, and they are shipped and posted around the world. One man said to me the other day that everything I've put out there over the past 20 years, he's taken a photograph of it, and obviously he sent it to other people as well. But this announcement board has been instrumental in us giving our campaign, running our campaign, promoting our campaign, I should say, or promoting our ministry. Since the mainstream media decided to dump me, maybe 12 years ago, they decided to dump me, and they haven't been back to bother me anymore, mainly not because of what I said about Obama, but because of what I said about the LGBT community. So they decided we're going to gang up on Manning, and we ain't going to let him get no press. But I got my own press system, and people come by and take pictures of it, and they post it on their website, their social media platform. So I would imagine that this outlaw sign has been seen at least 1 billion times. I would imagine that it has been. No, really, seriously. When you consider TikTok and what's the other one, Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and X and all that kind of thing. I imagine that word outlaw has been seen 1 billion times. But at any rate, what I'm saying here is that many of you have seen and know me by that. You ought to come on to the church, sit down, meet me as a man, and let me become your pastor and your leader. And I think you're going to have a great experience. God's bringing us into a very powerful time, and we're giving him the glory and giving him the praise for having done so. All right, listen, everybody, I'm going to take a break, but don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with more of the Manning Report.
Mayor Adams, you have the authority in your hand to release our church and school from this discriminatory tax lien law and the foreclosure actions that the courts have enjoyed. Show some support for working class people and set our church free. I mean, Eric, and I went down to City Hall and asked him to do this. He refused. So on the campaign trail, you're going to hear me talking about that I asked Mayor Adams, and he could have said, he could have just, Saturday, he could have come to our pulpit, call a press conference, and say, courts, Mellon Bank, set this church free. The city will be responsible. He could have done all he could do that right now. And we have served over 2 million meals to the city of New York. Never asked for a penny. No federal funding, no state funding. We have graduated over 500 students out of our schools. No state funding, no federal funding. And yet, I asked him to set our church free from this water and sewer bill, and he won't do it. I mean, what kind of devil is Mayor Eric Adams and all the other city officials also that won't do it? That's why I've got to become mayor. These devils, listen, all the city council, the mayor's office, it's a church for crying out loud. We've served 2 million meals and everybody knows it. We've graduated over 500 students from our school, and yet they want to shut it down. Why? Why, Eric? Why, Eric? Why are you so mean-spirited? Why are you so hard-hearted? I'm going to raise it against you. I pray that after the primary, it'll be me and you on that debate stage. And every time I open my mouth, I'm going to remind the world how you stood by and watched them threaten and put our church and our children on death row when all you had to do is just say the word. But you wouldn't do it. You would not do it. Why, Eric? Why? Trump is the destroyer. Trump has been positioned by Almighty God to destroy America. And the only thing that will be left standing is a group of people called the elect, and then the inhabitants of Kingdom of God, which will be in the community formerly known as Harlem, but God has changed the name of the community to Outlaw. Now, you don't have to believe that. You believe what you want. But like the Tower of Babel, that tower is coming down. That tower, that one's coming down. That one is coming down. No, that tower, like the Tower of Babel, that boy, that's coming down. I'm standing in front of it, and I'm prophesying. It's coming down. It's coming out. And Outlaw is coming up. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. That tower, Trump's tower, that one is coming down. The Tower of God. Outlaw. There's going to be a change of seasons. There's going to be a change of reasons. There's going to be a change of scenery. Outlaw. Praise the Lord. And then I'm going to build an arch. I told you about the arch we're going to build, right? I told you about the arch, but that tower, that one's coming down. I want to inform you that, last night, they had a debate here in New York City, the mayoral campaign, and it looks like they positioned everybody according to their ranking in the polls, and Governor Cuomo had center stage because he's, right now he's leading. But the thing that I thought was how the debate went and how Andrew Cuomo handled it, he put the focus on Trump. And everybody was taking shot. Everybody on the stage was taking shot at Cuomo because of the nursing home scandal, because of his sex scandals, and a bunch of other things. But he kept switching the focus back to Trump, that he's the man to stand up against Trump. And most New Yorkers, if you very well know, don't like Trump. However, I do think there is a brewing among many of the very poor New Yorkers who are turning towards Trump as the answer to their solutions, and more specifically against Mayor Eric Adams for the fact that he's been more charitable towards the immigrants than he has been towards them. And so what we're discovering now is that actually Cuomo he is a shrewd politician. There's no doubt about it. He's a very shrewd politician. I don't think that anybody walked away from that stage last night dethroning Andrew Cuomo. I don't have the pics of it. But he's a shrewd politician, Andrew Cuomo. But I can take him down. They're still trying to please and trying to walk on eggshells, all the other politicians, trying to walk on eggshells. They figure, they can say a couple of things to Cuomo, but I can take him down.
But he should have walked. Last night's report, this morning's report should have been Andrew Cuomo got defeated by one of the other candidates or two of the other candidates that were on the stage last night. But that's not the headline. In a head-to-head debate like that, and of course the election, for the general election, the primary rather, going to happen on the 24th of this month. And so right now he's still the front runner. If they didn't take him down last night, I don't know how they're going to take him down. They might as well just get out the race, hang up their rock and roll shoes. Now, I didn't see any of the Republican candidates. It should have been the primary should be about the Republicans and the Democrats. I didn't see any Republicans on that stage last night. Of course, I'm an independent. I did get started as a Republican, but they treated me so cruelly. I think Trump told them to do that to me. So I said, okay, I'll be an independent. And the independent party is growing, not just in New York, but across America because of the politics of both the Republicans and the Democrats. But what I've seen so far, and I have to take a closer look at that debate last night, they didn't take Andrew Cuomo down. Now, Eric Adams is running as an independent as well. So they'll be running against one another after the 24th of June. The general election race gets started, which I'm in a part of. Actually, I'm a part of the race right now. I'm acting as a mayor right now, things I've told people. But the general election gets started after the 24th, and Eric Adams and all these other people that are now running as Democrats will be off the stage. But I didn't see them take him down last night. I didn't see any, and I'm not cheering Andrew Cuomo on. Obviously, you know that. But I thought it was an interesting race, interesting debate. What I do want to do is that Lawrence O'Donnell last night put Elon Musk and Trump are stone cold enemies, and anybody who tells you the truth, who knows anything about the political scale and political landscape, knows that Elon Musk and Trump are stone cold blooded enemies. Everybody knows that. And they're trying to, so Elon Musk is firing missiles, warheads, nuclear warheads at Trump, and Trump is as quiet as a church mouse goes. Musk knows where the bones are buried. I believe that shooting of Trump out there in Bucks County, Pennsylvania was a setup. I believe it. I believe Trump is just that treacherous, dishonest, liar, con man, and a pathological degenerate. I believe he set it up, and I think that Musk has something to do with it. And but Musk is firing off nuclear warheads at Trump, and Trump gets, well, I'll tell you what, I'll let Lawrence O'Donnell do it. He can probably do it better. Now, hang tight, don't go, because I got some things I want to talk to you about my father, my stepfather, Willie Pastor. I want to talk to you about what happened 50 years ago that I want to tell you to send me to City Hall, put me in charge of all the students, put me in charge of all the schools in New York City, put me in charge of all the ghettos in New York City, put me in charge of all of the homeless people in New York City, put me in charge of all of the systems, the financial system, put me in charge of all the landlords in New York City. Will you do that? Put me in charge of all the landlords in New York City, all the schools, students, all the homeless, and all of the ghettos of New York. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're gonna appreciate what Lawrence O'Donnell has to say. But I got something even more important. But I got to run this. I figure you need to know it. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
Elon Musk has not mentioned Donald Trump's name in his now nonstop attacks on the Trump budget bill, but Elon Musk is using his loud social media voice to urge Republicans to kill the bill in a steady stream of angry and bitter tweets. Elon Musk began his war against Donald Trump at 1:34 p.m. yesterday, saying in his most anguished Twitter voice, "I just can't stand it anymore." And he called the Trump budget bill a disgusting abomination. And as of tonight, Donald Trump remains cowering in abject, silent fear of Elon Musk. The proof that Donald Trump is terrified tonight, after the richest person in the world turned against him, is that Donald Trump has remained absolutely silent about Elon Musk's attacks on the Trump budget bill and Donald Trump. Now, when is the last time someone with a loud public microphone called Donald Trump or something Donald Trump was doing a disgusting abomination without being immediately attacked by Donald Trump. Remember, Donald Trump has attacked Taylor Swift for nothing. Donald Trump attacked Bruce Springsteen for something Bruce Springsteen said at a concert on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. And Donald Trump attacked Bruce Springsteen immediately. Donald Trump's rule of life, as he announced in the first book published in his name, which of course was ghostwritten for him, that whenever he is criticized or something he's doing is criticized, he always has to hit back harder. That's Donald Trump's rule. But Donald Trump dare not strike back against the richest person in the world. Maybe Elon Musk can push Donald Trump to that breaking point that Elon Musk himself reached yesterday at 1:34 p.m. when he screamed on Twitter, "I just can't stand it anymore." Donald Trump might get there, but Donald Trump has never, ever taken longer to get there as he maintains his fearful silence about Elon Musk. Elon Musk continued his attacks on Donald Trump and Donald Trump's budget bill beginning in the middle of the night at 2:07 a.m. when Elon Musk said it more than defeats all the cost savings achieved by the Department of Government Efficiency team at great personal cost and risk. Now, there's Elon Musk reminding us of his complete failure to cut trillions of dollars of federal spending that he claimed he was going to cut, and then asking for our sympathy at how much it personally cost him in lost Tesla customers and dropping Tesla stock prices when America and the world turned against Elon Musk as he played the role of Donald Trump's executioner. The world turned against Elon Musk with Tesla sales dropping around the world, while Elon Musk was deciding to take food away from starving babies, from starving children, from starving people of all ages who depend on famine relief from the United States Agency for International Development, which Elon Musk personally decided to destroy. And Elon Musk now wants us to feel sorry for him about the cost and the risk that he suffered while being Donald Trump's executioner. 7 minutes after that tweet, at 2:14 a.m., Elon Musk tweeted, "This immense level of overspending will drive America into debt slavery." No, it won't, but it is more debt than the country has ever had. And 14 minutes after that, at 2:28 a.m., Elon Musk attacked Donald Trump and his budget bill again, saying interest payments already consume 25% of all government revenue. This is Elon Musk speaking, so of course that's not true. Interest on the debt is not that high. It's high, but not that high. Elon Musk then put down his Twitter machine for almost 8 hours and then began attacking Donald Trump and his budget bill again just after noontime today. And then Donald Trump finally arose from his Twitter silence about Elon Musk attacking him. And at 1:59 p.m., just over 24 hours after Elon Musk launched his direct attack on Donald Trump, calling Donald Trump's budget bill a disgusting abomination and saying anyone who supported it should be turned out of office, Donald Trump bravely tweeted about Elon Musk without comment, simply by retweeting the old Elon. Elon from May 28th, 7 days ago, when Elon Musk tweeted, "As my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank President Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending." And then in that same tweet, Elon Musk told this lie: "The Department of Government Efficiency mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government." And that was only 7 days ago that he was telling that lie. And now Elon Musk is telling you that his budget cutting mission has not just completely collapsed. It has been completely overrun by the Trump budget bill, which the Congressional Budget Office said today will increase the national debt by $2.4 trillion. Now, imagine how deep Donald Trump's fear is that when he couldn't stand it anymore today and he had to tweet something about Elon Musk attacking him for 24 hours, Donald Trump's attack, the only thing Donald Trump dared to tweet, was an old Elon Musk tweet with no comment at all. And 2 minutes before Donald Trump tweeted that old Elon Musk tweet, Elon Musk tweeted a new one telling the Republicans they needed a new bill. And 6 minutes after Donald Trump's tweet, Elon Musk tweeted another new one. No one who actually reads the bill should be able to stomach it. That means you, Donald Trump. And then 44 minutes later at 2:50 p.m., Elon Musk tweeted, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. And it didn't take long for the childish mind of Elon Musk, seeing the words kill and bill so close together, to just turn that into a movie poster version in his next tweet 8 minutes later, using the title of the movie, Kill Bill. The Congressional Budget Office estimate of the impacts of the bill released today shows that close to 16 million people would lose health care coverage because of the Trump Republican budget bill. Republican Senator Joni Ernst's response to concerns about losing health care coverage at a town hall in Iowa was to say, quote, we are all going to die, which she seemed to mean sort of maybe as a joke, but then instead of apologizing for what she said or any misunderstanding of what she intended when she said it, she decided to mock people who didn't like her response and insult those people by pretending that those people don't know that we're all going to die someday. Today, the Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said this.
Donald Trump is just lying about the bill. Lying about the bill. Well, here's the We Are All Going to Die Act. It says nearly 14 million. It's 16 million, getting closer to 16 million, according to CBO's numbers, we've been told.
16 million people losing health insurance thanks to Republicans voting for Donald Trump's disgusting abomination. Mike Johnson, the perpetually in-over-his-head guy who got the job of Speaker of the House when Kevin McCarthy was kicked out and no one else wanted the job, is the kind of in-over-his-head guy who's willing to tell you publicly who won't return his calls.
Well, I'll tell you, I called Elon last night and he didn't answer, but I hope to talk to him today. I mean, it's not, it's very friendly and we've laughed about our differences on policy before. I'm not upset about this.
No, he's not upset about it. He doesn't look upset about it. Why should he be? He was a junior member of the House who got catapulted into the speakership from obscurity after a coup. He gets the biggest office in the Capitol. He gets a bigger paycheck than the other House members. He gets Secret Service protection. He's second in line for the presidency in the line of succession. Why would he be upset that Elon Musk is trying to destroy his disgusting abomination and won't return his calls? Mike Johnson's lucky to be there. So, of course, Mike Johnson's not upset about it.
I'd love to talk to him this week and hope he calls him back today. I talked to President Trump, all the time, multiple times a day. Obviously, we've talked about this. As you know, he's not. Elon did a 180 on that.
Okay, so we got it. So Trump, easy to get on the phone several times a day. Musk won't return the call of the Speaker of the House. So there's the Speaker of the House wandering the halls of the Capitol, sounding like a high school kid on a tour, saying he really hopes the richest person in the world calls him back today or someday. And here's what the richest person in the world did after Mike Johnson said that. Elon Musk took that video of Mike Johnson saying, I hope he calls me back today, and he put it in his tweet at 2:05 p.m. saying no one who actually reads the bill should be able to stomach it, which means no one should be able to stomach what they heard Mike Johnson say in that video when he's hoping Elon Musk will call him back today. Congressional leadership has never looked more pathetic, more chaotic, more childish, or more, to use Elon Musk's word, disgusting. If the Senate fails to pass the bill, then the Republicans will have to start all over again. And tonight, Senator Rand Paul has said he will vote against it, and he sounds like he means it. Senator Ron Johnson has yelled about the bill, sounding as if he will vote against it, but there's no reason to believe any of the rantings of Ron Johnson. Republican Senator Joshua Hawley says he won't vote for the bill.
You shut that down, Mr. Engineer. I thought you might want to hear that. I don't know if you did. I heard it last night. I thought it was very powerful. There are a couple of things Lawrence O'Donnell does, and maybe the only one in broadcast cable news these days or any other kind of news that really tells it like it is about Donald Trump, calls him stupid. And everybody's taken to the point of calling Trump a liar. As you heard, Chuck-a-Luck Schumer called him a liar just a few moments ago. He's a leader of the minority leader in the Senate, called Trump a liar and that he lies. So people are now just very comfortable that America's comfortable with Trump being called a liar as well. But what I thought was interesting about this particular segment that Lawrence O'Donnell did, and I pray you caught it, that I didn't waste your 10 minutes time there, was that Lawrence O'Donnell is insinuating that Trump is scared to death of Elon Musk. And I agree. I second that insinuation or whatever it is I said. I second it. Suggestion that Trump is definitely afraid, and I think the reason why Trump is definitely afraid is because Elon Musk knows where the bones are buried. I think without some of the shady, even crooked, if not criminal things that Elon Musk and Trump did together, Trump would not have won the election. He would not have. And it wasn't until actually Elon Musk joined forces with Trump that he began to get some momentum towards winning the election, even back against Joe Biden and Black Harris. So we may have some very serious issues here because Musk may not stop here. Now, Trump is silent. Trump don't let nobody talk about it. I think the thing that caught my attention is that Trump went off the chain on Taylor Swift, Bob Jackson. Hey, Bob Jackson, if you're listening. Trump went off on Taylor Swift, went off on Bruce Springsteen, Minister Honaker. He went off on old Brucey, cousin Brucey. And Elon Musk is assaulting Trump in the most profound and powerful way, and Trump ain't saying nothing. So that could portend that something far worse could be coming, and I suspect that it will. I suspect that the explosion, unless Elon Musk gets rubbed out or accidentally falls out a window or something, this is going to get worse. It's going to get uglier. And we can readily see what the deal is there. But no, Trump is allowing Elon. The other thing about this is that the fact that Trump will not respond to Elon Musk is that how hurt is Elon Musk that Trump fired him? And the other thing that one would think about, that Musk would think about Trump is that if he's not responding to him, he's ignoring me. That might make it even worse. So we might be in a tough time here in America, looking at these two people fighting with one another. But it's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly. The other thing is that what people need to realize, Trump don't care anything about anybody. Trump does not care anything. I don't care who you think you are. You can thank Mike Pence. You can thank your J.D. Vance. You can thank your Lindsey Graham. Well, Trump is incapable of caring about anybody other than himself and money. He's incapable. Elon Musk made the fatal mistake of thinking that he and Trump were going to be chummies and buddies. That's impossible. It's impossible. Trump, you can no more expect Trump to be actually to have any empathy or sympathy or concern about anybody on this planet. He doesn't care. He can't. And not that he doesn't. That would be one thing if he chose not to. He's incapable. He's incapable. You would probably see a longtime person, Mighty Joe Young. You'd see Tarzan give birth to a baby girl before Trump could even begin to care about anybody. The man was born a freak. The man was born a freak. And not only that, but equal to that, he's a con man. It's like he sends out electronic waves into the brains of people to make them believe the lies that he tells. So that's who he is, and that's who Satan has as his servant. Trump is incapable, and is incapable of not lying or conning. That's just what he does. And then nothing. So Elon Musk, once I suppose he becomes aware of this, what's he going to do about it? Because Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet, and will he walk away from this fight? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's only going to get worse. Listen, let me turn a corner. Let me talk to you a little bit about, I need you to send me to City Hall. I need you to elect me to go to City Hall, and you're going to have to go to our website at Manning for Mayor. I have all of the necessary equipment. I need you to make me the superintendent of all the school students in New York City. Every public school in New York, you need to make me the superintendent of it by making me the mayor of the city of New York. You need to put me in charge of every teenage girl and boy, every middle age, every kindergartner. You need to put me in charge. And now I'm not asking you to do this without precedent. I have a record of 33 years of doing an excellent job. Anybody that can raise up in their own private school, a student accepted at Yale or Juilliard, or Cardozo Law School, New York Law School, New York University, Pratt Institute, Fordham University, St. John's University, I have sent students to all of those schools from this church building that I'm sitting in right now. Put me in charge of all the school system, and we'll get rid of the metal detectors. In 1 year, there'll be no more metal detectors. I need you to do that. I need you to put me in charge of all the homeless people. I will eradicate homelessness and cut off the pathway to both homelessness and prisons. They will dry up if you put me in charge of the city of New York. Send me to City Hall. How are you going to do that? By going to Manning for Mayor, making a donation. You know, I said the other day you can make a $10 donation. Well, you probably, I like to use biblical numbers, so 10 is good if that's what you want to do, but let me use some biblical numbers. You know, the Bible uses 12, the 12 tribes of Israel. We've got the 12 seasons, 12 months of the year. We've got, you know, the 12 disciples. So maybe $12. Go to Manning for Mayor. I have everything I need. The only thing I don't have is you. And I need your donation. Everything else I can do on my own. Everything else I can do. I need you to go to Manning for Mayor, make a donation. You can use 12, give $12. You can use the number $33, right? 33 years Jesus did ministry. Use 33. Or you can use 40. You can give $40. The 40 days that it rained, 40 days and 40 nights. Jesus was in the wilderness fasting and praying. Or you can use 120 or 70, the 70 years and 10, the years of a man's life, and 70 years and 10, which is 70. I have everything else I need. I have all the experience. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you listen to a piece I did the other day, me remembering my father, Willie Martin Patterson. Now, he wasn't my biological father, but he was the only father I ever knew. Taught me a lot. Wasn't for him today, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I'm going to let you see a piece I did out in Brooklyn the other day when I first came to New York. Well, I was talking about when I first came to New York, and then I want to come back and talk to you about sending me to City Hall. Mr. Engineer, roll that clip.
I'm here on Fulton Street and Nostrand Avenue. At one point, when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, for me, this was the crossroads of life. This was the Champs-Élysées. This was the main drag. This was the Fifth Avenue. This was my world. And I was living this way on St. James and Fulton. And I'd come to New York as a young boy, 18 years of age. But when I was approximately 15 or 16 years old, my father, now one would refer to him as my stepfather in as much as that he was not my biological father, but he was the man that raised me, took care of me, put a roof over my head, fed me, taught me, disciplined me. But when I reached 16, 17 years old, my aunts and some of my cousins and relatives were telling me, well, he's not your real father. You don't have to do what he says do. And so the more he would tell me the things to do, the more I would resist it. And finally, it came to the point where I actually put up my fist to fight him. Now, he was an older man. When he married my mother, he was 13 years older than her. He took me and my two sisters in as his children. Now, why is this important? It's important because this used to be a chock full of nuts. Now, those from the old school remember chock full of nuts, the heavenly coffee, chock full of nuts, better coffee a millionaire's money can't buy was their slogan. And they had a thing called nut bread. And so I invited my father, who at 18 years old, I realized that I had made a grave mistake by fighting him or seeking to fight him. He just walked away. He had lung problems. He could barely walk 5 steps without stopping to breathe. And he was just in a bad shape. And I put up my fist to fight him. And the guy said, Pastor Manny, you tell all these stories. You've done some awful things. I have. No, I have. And I'm deeply regretful of the things that I did. And I can't begin to tell you how painful it is to have lived through that. But I had enough understanding. Once I got a few dollars in my pocket, I invited my father, Willie Martin Patterson, to come to New York. And when he came to New York, I brought him here to what was then chock full of nuts. There was a side entrance, just this entrance right here. I think there was 2 entrances. Yeah, there was a side entrance. I brought him here.
Yes, God bless you.
God bless you. I brought him here. We sat down, had some coffee and some pound cake, and I told him I was sorry. And I apologized. And he just looked at me and, you know, he called me brother. That's what he called me. He called me brother because I was named after my father, who my mother divorced, and he didn't want to call me my mother's former husband's name, so he just called me brother. He just looked at me, brother. And he got on the bus and went back to North Carolina, and he died. So I thought I would say that. I mean, Fulton Street, obviously, as I was up by Fulton and Schenectady earlier today, telling about my refusal to do drugs, my discipline to not do drugs. And I just remembered chock full of nuts was here 50 years ago. Across the street was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I don't know what happened, why that store has not been reopened. It's a major corner store. It would appear that there'd be something going on there now. So this corner has a lot of history for me. If you can remember me, if we could just do a visual of an 18-year-old Manning. Try to think about me when I was 18 years old, how skinny I was, and how young I was at 18 years old, going into this place that was blessed as chock full of nuts. I think they still have a couple of chock full of nuts in Staten Island. You can look it up, Google it. It was a very famous, and they still sell chock full of nuts coffee. I thank God for the memories. I thank God that I had this experience up and down Nostrand and Fulton. So now I want to show you something, right? I sat here as an 18-year-old boy, skinny as a rail. This was my world. This was the world for me. This was the joint. I mean, this is where the people was. I was in New York City. But you know, I'm now running to be the mayor of this city, to take this city and to lead it. As an 18-year-old boy, I came here as an 18-year-old. And now I'm on track to actually become the mayor. Let me show you something here. This is one of the vehicles. When I took my father to chock full of nuts, I didn't have a car at the time. I used the subway or the bus. But now this is our church vehicle. This is my running for the mayor of New York City, but that's not all. Let me walk you down the street. Come on, follow me a little bit further, if you will. You come with me. 18 years old. If you can imagine me as an 18-year-old boy. This is our vehicle as well. The 18-year-old boy, that called his father from North Carolina to come has now started a school himself and graduating college-level students, graduating doctors and lawyers that, well, at least we got one doctor, but a number of people that have come through our church have become lawyers. So, as an 18-year-old skinny boy from North Carolina, my mind was, during those years, my mind was, I don't know where I was. But this is a very important and very powerful time for me. And it's important that I become the mayor of the city of New York, having come here as a migrant from North Carolina. So I wanted to be able to express that. Chock full of nuts is a heavenly coffee. Better coffee millionaires' money can't buy. Chock full of nuts is a heavenly coffee. Better coffee millionaires' money can't buy. Thank y'all for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you for taking the time to understand. I guess when you live as long as I do, you have a lot of history. And I consider it to be very rich. Can I just spiritualize my stepfather, Willie Patterson, walked this sidewalk. He's been dead now 45 years. My stepfather, the two of us, he was my father. The two of us, we walked in this area together, the two of us together. We occupied this space. He's long since gone, and I'm still here. I'm still here. God bless his memory. God bless his memory. Praise the Lord.
I want to ask you to put me in charge of all the young men, in New York City by making me the mayor of New York City. You can put me in charge of the entire New York City school system. All the young men, all the young women, young girls and boys. You know me. You see how painful that is for me, at least what it was, and my reliving it. God, it's just refreshed my memory about it the other day. You know who I am. Put me in charge of the school systems in New York City. Put me in charge of all the young men who would raise their hands against their fathers. Put me in charge of all the young women that will raise their hands against their mothers and their fathers. Put me in charge of it, and we'll change all that. You know I can do it. You know me. You know there's not one doubt in your mind that I can't. You know I possess all of the, well, I'll say gifts and talents and the anointing and the ability and the experience and the education to be in charge of the New York City school system. But not just that. Of course, I'm going to talk to you this coming Saturday. If you'll come to our church, I pray that you'll make your way to our church this Saturday, 11 o'clock. I'm going to ask you to put me in charge of all the landlords. The rent's too damn high. Put me in charge of all the landlords. Put me in charge of all the systems, the court systems. Put me in charge of the education system. Put me in charge of the homeless. But right now, I want to focus on you. You know me. You know who I am. You know that I qualify. I have all the skills, all the faithfulness, all the righteousness, all the love, all the abilities to run the New York City school system. You know that I do. You've seen what I've done. You've seen the work you've heard me talk year after year about the great successes we've had here with our own school system. You know me. I have all those abilities. What I don't have is your financial donation. That I don't have. And that's what I'm asking for now. I'm asking you to go to our website at Manning for Mayor and make a donation. Put me in, and that donation will send me down to City Hall. I'm suggesting you can make a donation of $12 using the Bible numbers. The other day I said $10. Well, the Bible uses 12. Let's say you're 12 tribes of Israel or the 12 disciples of Jesus. Make a donation of $12. I don't have that. I have everything else. I have the love, I have the passion, I have the concern, I have the experience, I have the education, I have the authority, I have the anointing to take the metal detectors out of the New York City school system and be able to raise up young boys and young girls to do great things the way I've been doing for over 30 years here at this church. I can do it on a much grander scale if you'll send me to City Hall. And I'm asking you for $12. Go to my website or our website, Manning for Mayor, and make a donation. You can give $33. 33 is the number that Jesus used. That's up to yourself. Starting at 12, right? 12 is the starting point. Or $33 you can give. That's the number you can give. $40. 40 is the number of days that it rained, and day and night. Or 40 is the number of years that Moses spent in the wilderness, the children of Israel. And 40 is the number of days that Jesus spent out in the wilderness himself, fasting and praying before he started his public ministry. $40 or $70, 3 score year and 10, $70. You can give as much as $2,100. You can do that all at one fell swoop. You can give as much as $2,100, no matter where you live, no matter what state. If you live in the United States of America, if you live in Alaska, if you live in Hawaii, you can give. And even if you're not a citizen of the United States of America, you can still give. Do you have a bank card? Do you have a debit card? Do you have a credit card? You live in America, you can give, even if you're not a citizen. Even if you don't live in the city of New York, you can give. But I'm asking you, I have everything. You know me. You know me. In New York City schools, children, they need me. They do. Don't let Cuomo be in charge of the school system. Don't let Eric Adams be in charge of the school system or the homeless. Send me. I have everything I need except that either $12 or $33 or $40 or $70 or $120 or whatever, $2,100. I have everything I have. I can do this job. You know that I can. You know me. And you can trust me. You know that I have confessed my faults. I've confessed my pain. You've seen me do that. You know me. You know me. So I have everything I need except your donation. You can go to manningformayor.com and make that donation, that $12 donation. Go to manningformayor.com. Or whatever you want to donate. It's up to you. That may not, because you may want to give more than that. I don't know. But you know me. You've been listening to me for years. Many of you are just coming back on board, but don't you think that the school children of New York City would be better off with me? Don't you think New York needs a spiritual leader? Don't you think that New York needs a mayor that will take the time and fast and pray? Don't you think New York needs? We've had all the politicians, we've had all the fancy words, we've had all the rich people, we've had all the racist people, we've had all the political people. Don't you think New York needs a spiritual leader who also has the, if you will, the political talents to lead this city? Don't you think that's a good thing? You know that's true. The only thing is missing from putting me in charge of all the school children of New York City. The only thing that's missing is you and your gift. The only thing that's missing now, I'm going to invite you to come to our worship service on Saturday, the 7th of June at 11 o'clock. That's this coming Saturday. And I'm going to be making more announcements about God putting me in charge of all the landlords. Lord knows we need somebody to curb these landlords, what they're doing. And God's going to put me in charge of, as the mayor of the city of New York, you'll be putting me in charge of all the landlords, all the homeless people. You'll be putting me in charge of that. You'll be putting me in charge of all the systems. And the one thing that you know about me as well, and it hasn't been pleasant, but I've been fighting the system. I've been fighting the Mellon Bank and the court system And the crooked lawyers, I've been fighting them for 15 years, or longer than that, quite frankly. And I've done a good job, don't you think? All I need now is you. The only thing standing between a righteous man being raising up students who will do great things, don't go to jail, cut off the pipeline to the prisons, cut off the pipeline to homelessness, establish strong families. The only thing standing in that way right now is you and whoever else that won't give. You can't worry about somebody else not giving, but you can do it. So go ahead and go to our website at manningformayor.com and make that donation. I'm gonna close out with generally we will close this segment out with Minister Holnaker, but I'm gonna close out with Pastor Badalata talking about the ghetto and what Jesus can do to this ghetto. I'm going to ask you to come to the worship service. Go right now. Don't wait till Saturday. Go now, right now, to Manning for Mayor right now. Go to Manning for Mayor right now and make your donation. But also come to the worship service this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock, because I'll be saying a whole lot more. But I can do it if you'll send me there. If you'll send me, I can do it. All right, Mr. Engineer. Let us hear about Badalata.
Jesus set this ghetto free.